Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Eugene Talks Football. It's that day that fans all over the world have been anticipating. Finally, it's here. It's match week 1 of the 2024-2025 Premier League season. And it starts with Manchester United at Old Trafford against Fulham. But Arsenal will be playing against Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. And that is what we're going to be looking at critically. Last season saw Arsenal suffer another heartbreak yet again for the second season running, conceding the Premier League title to Manchester City, who made history after winning the Premier League title 4 seasons in a row. This is the 2024-2025 Premier League season. Is it the season that Arsenal finally reached the finish line, clinching the title from Manchester City? Or are Manchester City going to continue to march on and continue to win the title again and turn the Premier League into a Farmers League? Are we going to allow that? We will find out. But this is only match week 1. And Arsenal have been preparing against the visit of Wolves to the Emirates Stadium. Let's talk about Wolves. A lot of people will agree with me when I say they lost their two of their best players already to transfers. We saw Max Kilman, their centre back, who has been at the club for quite a long time, leave for West Ham for a huge fee. And of course, a player that has been linked with to Arsenal for quite a couple of seasons now, Pedro Neto, moved to Chelsea. So, and they, despite the fact that they recouped a lot of money from transfer for the sale, from the sale of these players, they've not really strengthened their squad, apart from adding some couple of youth academy players to their first team squad. So having said that, I don't really think Wolves are a serious threat to our season opener on Saturday. But you can never really say that because it is the Premier League and anything happens, okay? But if you look at Arsenal's team, don't forget that a couple of our players, our fringe players, after the end of last season, were in action on international duties. Players like Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, who got to the final of the Euros, and of course William Saliba also got to the semi-finals with France. And these players were pivotal, were instrumental in their respective teams. So even before the Premier League fixtures were announced, a lot of Arsenal fans were worried about the availability of these players uh, in the first weeks of the Premier League season. But fair enough, it is obvious that these players will be featuring in the first game of the season against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Okay, let's get straight into the predicted lineup for that particular game. Uh, Very straightforward. In goal, it's David Raya. Remember, he has finalized his permanent move to Arsenal, as he was on loan at Arsenal last season. Arsenal have finally completed his permanent transfer from Brentford to Arsenal, thereby cementing his place as our number 1 goalkeeper, as we keep looking for pastures new for Aaron Ramsdale, who is looking for a move away. So straightforward, David Raya in goal. And of course, at right back, Ben White for me. You know, this is a player, an England international, who didn't feature in the Euros, so he had a very rest time after the season, enough rest time. I beg your pardon. So he's fully fit, fully recharged. You saw glimpses of his energy in preseason. He played virtually every game in preseason. So I believe Ben White is the player that you can point at and say he is ready for the season. So Ben White for me takes that right back position, and in centre back, William Saliba. This is a player that is developing season after season. William Saliba is gradually cementing his place as one of the best centre backs in world football. A lot of people will agree that it is still early stages of his development, but this player has been consistent since signing for the club, since breaking into Arsenal's first team, you know. So no doubt about that, William Saliba has a lot of abilities. His ball playing ability, his confidence on the ball, his physique, his presence. You know, there's only a few players out there in world football that can take William Saliba's place. So I believe that Arsenal are lucky to have a player like William Saliba. So he slots in straightforward at centre back for me. And his partner, no doubt about that, Gabriel, the warhorse. That's what I call him. So he partners Saliba at the back. You know, these two players have good ball playing ability, and that sums up Mikel Arteta's tactics. So that's the centre back pairing. Of course, we know the addition of Ricardo Calafiori will give the manager a sort of selection headache. But Calafiori is a player that has special qualities, and I know that he's going to feature very much in this Arsenal squad. And he's a sort of a versatile player that can play not just the centre back position, and of course, left back. So let's see what Mikel Arteta has in store for him. But at the moment, it's going to be remain the centre back partnership of William Saliba and Gabriel. What about left back? In my opinion, I think Alexander Zinchenko, it is his position to lose this season. Of course, he faced a series of criticisms last season as he was responsible for a lot of goals, crucial goals that Arsenal conceded. You could say that some of his mistakes played a major part in Arsenal falling short of the title last season. But as I always believed, you cannot fault an individual player when there are 11 football players on the pitch. So I will quickly move past that. So, but in preseason, it is very evident that Alexander Zinchenko has stepped up his game. You know, so for me, I will slot him straight at the left back position because his ability going forward, his inversion rate, you know, it's nothing short of beauty and elegance. So as a result of that, I'll slot him at left back, pending whatever happens, as it's only a fair thing to see that Arsenal have a lot of options at that left back position. Don't forget that Tomiyasu can play at left back, Kivio can play there, Calafiori, Jurien Timber. So it's luxury for Arsenal. But at the moment, I'll go Zinchenko at left back. And then in midfield, I've said previously that one important thing Arsenal must do this season is to ensure that Thomas Partey is fit throughout the season. You cannot guarantee that a player can be fit the course of a whole season. But if you look at last season, we hardly saw Thomas Partey feature, and we finished second. What You don't know what would have happened if we got Thomas Partey fit throughout the season. Maybe we could have gone on to win the title. So we saw a lot of Partey's qualities in preseason. You know, his composure on the ball, his techniques, his strength, you know, his passing range. and is an eye for goal as well. So that base of the midfield, that lone six, because I would say that this in preseason, if you look watch critically, you will discover that Mikel Arteta has deployed a fresh approach, a fresh tactics, and that is one thing that is really impressive. That is one thing I love about Mikel Arteta, how he evolves the team, starting from the 2022-23 season, you know, towards last season, and now the team is evolving. So I would fancy Thomas Partey at that lone six, all right, and I've always been a fan of Declan Rice going forward, and it is evident seeing how Mikel Arteta used him from the beginning of last season as a lone six. But when he was deployed a little bit forward, we saw that Declan Rice got a lot of goals, assists. Don't forget the assist for Leandro Trossard against Chelsea, his goal against Bournemouth, Manchester United, West Ham on his return. And so I think Declan Rice makes loads and loads of runs, and each time I see Declan Rice play in that left-hand position, it reminds me of Granit Xhaka, in his last 2 seasons before he left for Bayer Leverkusen. So I fancy Declan Rice in that left-hand position, and the imminent arrival of Mikel Merino will spark robustness in that midfield setup, as well as he can also play as a six. Don't forget, we still have Jorginho as well. So, and these players are versatile. Merino can play as a left, he can play as a six. Declan Rice can play at both positions as well. So, I'll go with Declan Rice in that left eight, and of course the magician, the midfield maestro, the playmaker, Martin Odegaard, will complete the midfield trio of Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and of course Martin Odegaard. That's the midfield setup for me. And then in attack, I'll start from the left wing position. There's going to be a lot of debate of who's supposed to start. Pound for pound, in my opinion, in terms of finishing, I'll go Leandro Trossard. But it is the first game of the season, and believe me, we don't have too many fast players, players that have got speed in this Arsenal squad. So because of that, I will go Gabriel Martinelli to build his confidence. I know that a lot of people would say that this is a title-winning team. We don't have to bank on confidence for player selections. But remember that before the previous just concluded season, Martinelli had a very decent, good season, and it is only fair to keep building his confidence as it is evident that he is a quality player. So I believe that Trossard is contented being a squad rotational quality player, and so I'll go Martinelli to start this particular one. And on the right, if you watched Bukayo Saka's game against Bayer Leverkusen and Olympic Lyon, you will see that Mikel Arteta has changed a lot of things in terms of set pieces. I've hardly seen Bukayo Saka be at the end of headed balls, but against Lyon, he had some couple chances where he could have had a couple of goals from headers. So, yeah, it is a no-brainer that Bukayo Saka, for me, starts at the right wing. The only issue there is how to, support Bukayo Saka in terms of having cover for him, as we've not really had competition for Bukayo Saka. So he slots in straight at the right wing position. It is no secret that between Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz, whose preference is that will be our main centre forward. Of course, it's Kai Havertz. Exciting times for Arsenal in terms of the fitness of Gabriel Jesus. He played virtually every game in pre-season, and he's a player that was not involved in international duties. He has been in training sessions working on his fitness even before the season begins. So it's going to be a huge season for Gabriel Jesus, knowing that he can also play at the left wing position, even the right wing as well. But in the number 9 position for this particular game, I'll go Kai Havertz. All right. So that's my starting 11, people. Uh, I know you have your preferred starting predicted 11. Whatever it is, share it in the comments. Let's discuss. Let's talk about what we need to do. As it is game week 1, I don't see Wolves causing us a lot of problems such that it will end in nothing else than a win. We need to start off our season with a brilliant or a statement win, an emphatic win. It is very good for our confidence, it's good for the vibe. And if you looked at the team, even in preseason, even after they came back from preseason, there's been so much positive energy in that team, and it's something really to be excited about. I don't see any form of negativity in camp. The smiles on the faces of the players, the positivity, the vibe, the hunger, the desire, the fitness. It's something to really be excited for this season. So that's my lineup for the game against Wolves. Do you think Gary O'Neill has enough in his arsenal to cause Arsenal problem in this game? Share your thoughts in the comments, people. And I know that everyone is just as excited as what I am at the moment for the beginning of the season. And remember, this season is going to be explosive. It's going to be entertaining on Eugene Talks Football. Match analysis, previews, match day reviews. We'll do watch alongs as well. So join us in the comments, interact. Let's talk about football. As the season begins, and Arsenal fans, let's hope that this is the time that we finally win the title. It's been 21 years, and of course, we should also take these cup competitions seriously. Since Mikel Arteta became the manager of Arsenal, apart from the FA Cup he won, he has not been taking the cup competitions seriously, like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And fans these days do not see these cups as just mere cups anymore. They are now major trophies, as against it was once thought to be. So they are major trophies now. So I expect Arteta to go full trot for these trophies. As much as we want to back Mikel Arteta this season, as long as we appreciate what he's been doing, we want trophies right now. It's time. Okay, I believe that these players have come of age. They've played together for quite some time now, and it's time that they blend in with the manager. We're not clubs that change manager season in, season out. I'm not trying to have a dig at Chelsea. So sorry about that. So this is the time I think that we finally win the league. But let's not talk too much about that. It's only game week 1. Let us be excited. What do you think? What are your expectations for this season, people? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you once again for being a part of this show. Don't forget, people, like the video, subscribe to Eugene Talks Football. Let's be a part of this community throughout the season. Thank you once again. See you. Peace.